What is peak cinema? Peak cinema is the highest class of media entertainment, often regarded as a marker of a perfect theatrical release. If that was too much to process, then here's a good example. Zoolander is a movie that was released on September 28, 2001 by Paramount Pictures to middling reviews. But don't listen to those terrible critic reviews. Zoolander is stronger than that, better than that. Zoolander truly is one of the movies of all time. Now let's get straight into the miraculous story of Derek Zoolander, who is an absolute Chad in the male modeling industry, being a winner of the Best Male Model Award for 3 years in a row. All until rising star Hansel wins what could have been Derek Zoolander's 4th consecutive award. After Hansel absolutely demolishes Zoolander in the awards, Zoolander goes back to his father in the coal mines and after a day can't take the work anymore. That's when Zoolander is offered a modeling gig by the famous fashion designer Mugatu for his brand new fashion line. What Zoolander doesn't know is that Mugatu is actually using him to kill the new Prime Minister of Malaysia, who is putting a stop to child labor. During Zoolander's training for the modeling gig, he is brainwashed. Zoolander then teams up with reporter Matilda to uncover Mugatu's plan and put a stop to it. That's the basics of the story, and it's insanity, but that's what makes it so good. If you're watching Zoolander as a serious movie, then you are watching it incorrectly. This is the type of movie where you sit back with your friends and just say, what the fuck? The movie knows it's stupid, the movie knows it's wacky and decides to embrace it rather than fight against it. When a movie is able to embrace its stupidity and build its story and characters around that, you can get a movie that is enjoyable rather than cringy. You get Zoolander. Now, before we get into the visuals, let me remind you that this movie came out in 2001 and is in no way supposed to look good. And it doesn't, but the cheesy visuals somehow make this movie even funnier. There's a scene in the movie where Zoolander is swimming as a merman and it looks awful, but the movie knows it looks bad and makes all the characters watching cringe and laugh in pain rather than pretending it looks good. It also probably is because the commercial straight up is bad, but I digress. This is sort of like a signal to us watching the movie that even the movie isn't taking itself seriously, so we shouldn't either. We should see this movie as one big joke that's meant to just shut your brain off and enjoy. The movie is able to be so enjoyable because of its stupid story, mixed in with its cheesy visuals, and through its dialogue. Every word said in this movie is just a lead up to another joke, and 90% of the time, that joke lands. The gags in this movie are just another level of stupid, and it works so well when intertwined with this insane story and these wacky visuals. The visual gags also hit quite well and make the story even weirder. I'm looking at you, massage scene. For real though, the visual gags are great, and every time Zoolander does his famous stare, it always sends me into laughter. Overall, this movie is just really funny and is a blast to sit through for its 90-minute runtime and with its fantastic characters. Now hear me out. What if I told you Derek Zoolander had that dog in him? Despite being brainwashed and shunned by his family, this man still does Mugatu's modeling gig to kill the Prime Minister, wins, and saves the Prime Minister with his miraculous stare. This man has one of the best stares in all of Hollywood, nay, of the world. Blue Steel is the only picture on my Tinder profile because it has a 100% chance of success. But despite his signature look, he is still seen as only a dumb and stupid male model. And well, it's not wrong. Zoolander is the definition of stupid, but that doesn't mean he isn't human with human emotions. The movie, despite being pure insanity, doesn't take this lightly. Derek Zoolander on the outside is just a dumb model, but on the inside, he cares for his family and has to deal with their criticisms while also having to deal with the responsibilities of being a public figure. He cares for his friends and is trying to make the world a better place, which is a human trait that should be valued more than one's intelligence, and ultimately is by the end of the movie. Zoolander's character is one that is initially made to follow the stereotype of all models are stupid, but in the end, this movie turns that around and says all models are stupid, but they have heart. Except Hansel. Yeah, I don't know why, but I never clicked with Hansel. To be fair, Hansel, played by Owen Wilson, never said ka-chow during the movie. Now you may say,
but Zoolander came out 5 years before Cars. How could you have known to say ka-chow?
well, it's simple. Owen Wilson is a part of the Time Variance Authority in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That means he can go back in time to tell his previous self to say ka-chow without ruining the timeline. Okay. I'm sorry, that was terrible. Let's get back to his character. Hansel's character was fine, not as good as Zoolander, but it was nice to see some growth in both Zoolander and Hansel near the end of the movie, leading to an honestly satisfying ending for both characters. Hansel is a more static character compared to Zoolander, as Hansel is pretentious throughout the first 85% of the movie, whereas Zoolander is immediately shot down from the beginning, giving Zoolander more room to grow, whereas Hansel only has the last 15 to 20 minutes. Another character on the static side is Mugatu, who is the main villain of the movie. Despite a relatively low screen time, Will Ferrell as Mugatu absolutely shines. Easily one of the best villains due to his sheer stupidity. He speaks crazy, he acts crazy, he wears crazy. I mean, come on, Dr. Eggman has some serious competition here. Every time Mugatu is touched, he goes into a screaming frenzy.
Look out, she got an egg!
It is pure joy every second he's on screen. The movie embraces his off-the-wallness and just rolls with it effortlessly. Mugatu is a fantastic villain and is easily an S tier on the villain tier list. Now onto Matilda, and she's fine. She's just an outlier in this movie. Every character feels like they have their own special quirk in some way, but Matilda is... Matilda? Yeah, not much to say about this character except the fact that she basically acts as an anchor for Zoolander and basically does everything to make the movie progress while having the most screwed on head. Well, here we are at the end of Zoolander, or actually just the beginning. Over 20 years after the movie was released, Zoolander memes have flourished on the internet through TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and so on. The movie lives on through its memes and is even #1 trending on Amazon Prime Video. But what makes Zoolander so special? What makes Zoolander peak cinema? What makes Zoolander peak cinema is that all of it is an outlet for another joke. Recently, movies have become much more serious and take on that serious tone, but Zoolander deals with this quite differently, where the storyline of preventing the death of the Prime Minister is all just a big lead up to another joke. But what's even better than that is that the movie is simply better than what we are getting today. It's better than the MCU, better than Avatar, maybe on the same level as Puss in Boots, but Zoolander, it's just better. Zoolander is also the perfect movie for children. Your child wants to watch Zootopia? Well, don't worry, we have Zootopia at home. As a definition of peak cinema states, peak cinema has to be a perfect theatrical release. And well, Zoolander fits that bill, being a perfect movie for the family, a perfect movie for laughs, and the perfect movie for some banger action scenes. Zoolander truly is peak cinema.